Welcome. This is a regular meeting agenda of the governing body of the Borough of Bloomingdale, Tuesday, January 21st, 2025 at 7 p.m. Call the meeting to order by the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor D'Amato.
Here.
Councilman Bromford. Councilman Catalano.
Here.
Councilman Graziano.
Here.
Councilwoman Hudson. Here. Councilwoman Schubert. Here. Councilman Yasi.
Here. Okay, we also have an municipal clerk, Brianna Smith, business administrator Michael Sondermeyer, and borough attorney Dawn Sullivan. This meeting is called pursuant of the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. Adequate notice of this meeting was advertised in the Herald News on January 9, 2025. Copies were provided to the local news media and posted continuously in the municipal building. A copy of this notice is available to the public and on file of the Office of Municipal Clerk. As per state fire code, I am required to acknowledge that there are two emergency exits in this council chambers. The main entrance which you enter through and a secondary exit to the left of where I am seated. If there is an emergency, walk orderly to the exit through the door, down the stairs, and out the building. Any questions, please raise your hand. Seeing none. We do have two matters, one matter of personnel and a matter of attorney-client privilege. So we're going to go into an early executive session. Hopefully we won't be that long. Do I have a motion to go into early executive?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We do not have any non-agenda items tonight. To have a motion to open up early public comment.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to come up and question anything on the agenda, please do so. Seeing no one, a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, reported committees. Evie.
For the Triborough, their December numbers, year-to-date were 1,759. The county took 32 calls. Triborough had covered 128 calls, missed 11. Butler had 59 calls, Bloomingdale had 55, Kinnelon took 40 calls, and they had 6 mutual aid calls. This Friday, they're having their installation dinner at the barn, February 1st. February 11th, they're having a fundraiser, a Wendy's fundraiser. If you buy your lunch or dinner at Wendy's, they get a little kickback. And they are also going to be having a craft fair at St. Anthony's. They're looking for vendors. The date, it's still to be determined. And they're always accepting people that would like to volunteer. If they could commit to hours, they have their applications online, also in the first aid building, and they also rent their equipment if you needed anything, and that's for Triborough. Next is the library. They, again, online have many programs, and their story time will begin again at the end of the month. February 23rd, they scheduled a porch leaner art project, which is also going to be a paint and sip at the Fireman's Hall. I don't have the time yet or the flyer. Next, for March 28th, they have the date for their designer bingo, handbag bingo, which is what the foundation, a lot of that money is what helps support the library to remain open. And their dueling pianos is still to be determined. There's no date for that yet. They have also on a lot of adult crafting programs that you could find online. But on January 27th is their crocheting, and their mystery book club starts up again February 18th, and their senior center, they also have a film festival in the senior center twice a month. The next one is January 28th. But all of this is located online. And I also have for the senior center, as always, their Golden Age Club. If you wanted to be a member, you just need to call Pat Yanesey. Their number is 973-838-9259. All the information is posted on our Bloomingdale website under the senior center. Brianna posts every month their calendar, which has many activities like chair aerobics. They have bingo, their yoga, line dancing, and all kinds of also movie nights. And the town also has actually Passaic County hosts their luncheon there every day. It's at the Nutrition Center with healthy lunches, and it's a nice time to socialize with other seniors. And also, the other thing I wanted to mention is on February 7th, the Passaic County Surrogate Court, Honorable Zoila Casanova, the lawyer, she's going to be at the senior center between 10 and 4. It's by appointment. You should call. They're doing a make-a-will event if anybody wanted help with that.
Is that here or is that at the college?
This is at Bloomingdale
It is?
Senior Center, 101. It's at no cost.
Okay.
And you could register at PassaiCountySurrogate.org or call Christopher Mariano. I believe Brianna has this posted on the website as well. It's there.
Yeah, because she's doing that several different places. I just thought we were at the college. I think she's doing it at the college too. Okay. Very good.
Installation dinner is not this Friday, it's next Saturday.
It's the first,
First.
February
It's the
1st, which is
first,
Saturday. Yeah, down at
You're
the,
scared of hell, and you said
barnyard.
it's this Friday. Nope.
No, February 3rd.
yeah, I thought the same thing. She said February 1st after that, so. that's
Yeah,
good.
okay.
Good. John?
No, nothing tonight.
Nothing? Do you want to talk about the, we made contact with the, food town?
Bloomingdale Supermarket. Yeah, so we talked to the manager. The mayor said he saw a note that was posted on there that was a little suspicious. Basically, an index card that said permanently closed. So we reached out to the manager there, and he said, no, we have no plans of permanently closing. We're going through our insurance right now, and we do plan to fully open up once that all gets cleared. In his words, it's all in the works. So we're very happy to hear that. They plan on being part of this community for the future.
Did you put that on the Facebook page?
Yes, I had the EDC spread it, so that's the quotes that were coming out based on that. They just took the email almost verbatim and put it out there. So happy to see that. That was a good news, especially after some of the slew of bad luck, right, that happened on that property.
Yeah. I mean, I went down and looked at the sign. Somebody took a, index card. They wrote permanently closed. And stuck it on with duct tape. So I knew it wasn't the store itself.
Right.
Okay, Dawn?
I just have a couple things. Public events, our first public event actually was changed. That's the Ramadan Crescent Lighting. It's now the 25th at 6:30 p.m. That's February 25th. The last rabies clinic is in Riverdale. That's March 1st from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the DPW garage on Dalton Drive in Riverdale. The borough is closed on February 17th for President's Day. If you have not signed up for Recycle Coach, the link is on our website, the main page of our website, bottom right-hand side, along with RAVE, the emergency notification system, if you have not signed up for that as well. And the health department, I think things are going well with the transition. We've had some nice meetings with Passaic County, and so far really happy with the staff, and everything's moving along.
Good, that's good. Ray, Anthony?
Nothing I can report publicly without the attorney hitting me.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Dave?
I haven't hit anyone in a really long time.
Dominic, anything?
No, nothing to report, sir. The planning board meets tomorrow.
Mike?
A couple of things, we're applying, I think we did it last meeting, but just to inform everybody, the LRIG grant, we're applying for that. Again, this one we did for the workout station at the Walter Bergen last year. We're gonna do that for the leisure playground to help really offset the cost for the playground. It wasn't the money we got from the open space, so hopefully offset that. 2025 open space from the county, we're applying for that. That's gotta go relatively soon. We had a meeting with our engineer last week. We're gonna go for backstop at the leisure and bring the leisure bathrooms back onto that one. See what kind of money we get on that one. The CDBG is also up. We need to make a decision on that. We're talking about doing possibly sidewalks, but maybe we should set up a committee to talk about that, what we wanna do. But that's gonna happen relatively soon.
Yeah, my thought process was, and we walked it, as you guys don't know, Mike, myself, and John and Mark Redfield, we walked all of Main Street on Saturday to look at certain buildings, banners hung up on buildings that are timing out, because you're allowed to put a banner up for so long until they go to permanent siding. So we started looking at the sidewalk aprons that I see. Obviously, at the post office, down by Grudge Towing, the sidewalks the red brick that we put down years ago, is all deteriorating because of salt. Salt is eating all away. So we want to start figuring out how we can start replacing that. We know what the development going across the street by the post office, they're gonna have to put new sidewalks in. So that will really be the start of it, but it'll be concrete. It'll no longer be pavers. We'll just go through the same process again, and they'll be deteriorating. My thought process for the grant is, I know down in front of the Methodist Church, their sidewalk, that's in front of there, is in pretty bad shape. So to me, if we're gonna do anything with the CBG grant, that would qualify to go in that direction, and that also would add to our park look with clean new sidewalks there. The county is gonna do some work on that side, because they're gonna put a crosswalk there,
Yeah, and there, yeah.
by Leary, and they're gonna put a crosswalk, two on Reeves, one on, I call it Lawrence Transmission, that's how we know it, but the Austin's Place, Brothers Auto, and in front of the Reeves Ave side by Chicken and Roll. They're gonna put two crosswalks there to come across in the park. All right, that's the way they're set up. But that's supposed to start sometime late spring, early summer on that project. So we have to figure out what we want to do. So think about it. If you think of anything, reach out to Mike, because we have to apply for that soon.
Yeah.
That grant is anywhere between $65,000 and $90,000.
Pretty much.
And then we usually have to add some into it, but it's not going to be enough to do the whole thing. It's impossible. That'll be a $500,000 project.
It can pretty much only be used along Hamburg Turnpike, let's call it.
Yeah, it's pretty much from here.
For seniors, money we spent on seniors, that's how we got the pavilion out of it last time. So, yeah, there's limited, you can't just use it anywhere in town.
No.
You can't just buy it.
And there's certain sections down below, like I think it goes to Wallace Street, but
It does, it's like a little loop,
Yeah,
and then it comes back out the Hamburg Turnpike, comes
Right.
up, and then comes down to First and Second Street.
but it only goes so far in
Yeah.
on Wallace, because that's just the way it works. They have boundaries for everything. So that section of Wallace is all done. We did all that, so we just need to figure out what we want to do. Maybe we can just do aprons, because the aprons are bad, and start putting concrete in. I don't know.
Can we do it in increments? Like you mentioned, the sidewalk in front of the Methodist Church,
Mhm.
so like that 1 year and then the
And then
next
next
year.
year, every year,
Yes,
that's
yes,
how
you
you
can
apply
do
for
that.
it, just
Yeah.
do it that way. You do that.
We tried to do it without borrowing money to add to it. When it goes to that grant, it's $65,000 to $90,000. But your engineering cost has to be outside of that. All right? So whatever you get, you need to spend on the project, not on your design of the project. Okay, so that's important to remember. So when you see that sections cost, that's engineering. All right? Anything else, Mike?
Oh, last thing I had, we added heat at the senior center last Friday. it was last Friday. We had the unit that was broken for the last 2 months, the HVAC/heat went down. It's a $30,000 fix. They have 2 units there. We were keeping it around 70 degrees with the 1 unit. Obviously, with the cold that we've been getting, it just couldn't keep up with it, even with the little space heaters we had in there. So we had to hire an electrician to put in some electric heat things with blowers, which seems to be helping out. So it's a couple $1,000, but as opposed to spending 30 on a new unit, we need to make a decision what's going on with that whole floor and stuff.
Okay. Great.
That's it.
Nothing to report. Thank you.
Nothing this evening, Matt.
Okay. Just for me, I've been getting questioned about the SRD school. Okay, with the school referendum that's coming in March that I believe we're all supporting, on putting addition on the Bergen School. The idea is for them to close the Donald School, and Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong, or Dave, because you go to a lot of the meetings, and they are going to sell the Donald School off. That's true. Okay, but the process is they have to go to bidding on selling it. It's not just that they're gonna sell it to a developer. Anybody can come in and bid on that sale. It could be another school, it could be a charter school, it could be a nonprofit, it could be a senior center, it could be something like they have on Ace Road over in Butler, where that's a total senior building. We have no control over that, okay? That's a school project that I believe we are supporting. But at the end of the day, that school is zoned public. All right, so right now, if they sold it, it can only be a school because it's in a public zone. That would have to be changed if they go in a different direction. But they are so far away from that. It can't, I've heard things that are gonna put 2,000 apartments up there. It's impossible, okay? It's impossible. Density is what they take into account, parking they take into account. If they were able, and I'm making numbers up, it's just the way I think of it, if they were able to get 60 to 100 apartments, they'd be lucky. Because it's really a big piece of property, but I would say 30% of it, it's a cliff off the back of the building. Okay? So if anybody asks you questions about it, that's the process. It's a school project. It's not a municipal project. But this is what they're going through to raise money to help offset the costs for the addition on the Walter T. Bergen. From what we were told, to renovate the Donald School is approximately $21 million, which I think they're telling people that in their, right? To build a new facility is approximately $25 million. So you want something brand new for a little bit more, or do you want to take an old building and try to convert it and be really where you are today? So that's the project they're looking for. I'm in support of closing the Donald School and building onto the Walter T, providing the referendum passes. But ultimately, it's up to the residents of Bloomingdale on how they vote on this. I just wanted to make clear that, you know, it's no intention of this body right now, because the school owns the property, we don't. So that's just my 2 cents on that. So if anybody asks you, it's a school project. If it ever gets to where it needs to be, and then we will be involved in it. But that's all I have to say.
We have zero say in this. Like, we
have
can't tell them, do this or do that.
No.
It's not up to us. It's totally their decision.
Right, and you know, there's no hiding it. We've been talking to the Board of Ed members and the superintendent, and they're keeping us informed of what's going on. We give them our opinion of how, you know, maybe down the road, how we can help them. But we are we're just a committee of 2 working together, try to achieve the same goal. But at the end of the day, it's a school project. It's their decision on what they want to do. March 11th is the referendum, and I know they've been hosting meetings regarding this and trying to keep everybody informed as much as possible about that, which is great for transparency with that. So I just wanted, you know, the things I saw about the Donald School and 2,000 apartments, and I'm like, it's just not true. It's just not true.
Okay, and if anybody asks me, they need to talk to me, just tell me, email me, and I will call them. It's not a problem. All right?
John,
Yeah.
may I just add something that I failed? In the consent agenda tonight is a resignation for Eric Lawson. I don't know if we talked about this at one of our previous meetings, but I just want to thank Eric for his service. Since we spent a lot of time, with Eric over the years, and he really gave a lot to the fire department and to our community. So for that, he deserves a big thank you.
Yeah, Eric is a 25-year member. He just received 25 years. He retired from his previous job and is retiring to North Carolina. So that's, we feel really good for him and his wife Donna to go down there and start a new adventure. We were with Eric last week at the fireman's dinner. So, yes, we do thank Eric. I mean, he's an ex-chief in the fire department, devoted a ton of time. And also, I think the other two people you have to mention here is Jen Ellis and Monica Story. Jen Ellis being on the EDC, she's our film person, I guess you could say, John?
Yeah, I was gonna say this before we voted on it, but Jen instrumental in the EDC.
Yeah.
She started the What's Happening Bloomingdale page. She was, definitely did all of the videos and the lives for any event that we had. Definitely gonna be missed.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's still around. She's still close by, but she's going to be moving away from the area, probably sooner than we think. But she's a phone call away if we need help. And she's told me that personally. She'll come back if we need help, and it's still, Bloomingdale's really still in our heart. All right. Anybody else have anything before we move on? Okay, item number 9, resolution 2025 1.98, the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda? Any questions?
Second?
I think we had a second.
I'll second it.
Okay? Yeah, okay, that's what Dave did. If there's no questions, roll call.
Catalano,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Ronkhorst,
Yes.
Okay, pending business. New Jersey DEP Green Acres Grant for Boat Pond Playground. We're gonna move all 3 resolutions here, so it's all tied to the playground. This is just part of the process to get the, playground built, and the process is starting. So it's resolution number 2025 1.108 through 2025 1.110. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Graziano,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Ronkhorst,
Yes.
Catalano,
Yes.
Okay. New business, adoption of resolution number 2025 1.111, transfer of appropriations. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Hudson,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Ronkhorst,
Yes.
Catalano,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Okay. Item B, adoption of resolution 2025 1.112, paying of the bills. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, unless there's any questions.
Schubert,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Ronkhorst,
Yes.
Catalano,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Okay. Item C, adoption of resolution 2025 1.113, authorization of bond note sale. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Ronkhorst,
Yes.
Catalano,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Okay. Item D, adoption of resolution number 2025 1.114, resolution adopting Bloomingdale's affordable housing, presented in prospective need obligation. This is simply our, and as you know, we spoke about this many times, the fourth round for affordable housing is in the process of coming out. We are on a deadline to do this resolution, and then our attorney and our planner have to have it done by January 31st.
January 31st is the deadline, and concurrent with this, there are other steps that we have to take. We have to file a complaint. The resolution has to be posted to the website within 48 hours of adoption. So rather than wait until the end of the month and have a special meeting, we are doing this tonight.
And then once that's all done, we have to have this plan in place by,
June 30th.
is it June 30th?
June 30th is the
July.
deadline for the plan.
So this is mandated by the state. This is something that we are creating. All right, so any other questions on that?
Yeah.
My only question on this one was, I know that we had a slight discussion as to who was gonna be our advocate for this, and then maybe it's more for Dawn. So as you go through this and we file our complaints, we come up with our plan. A while back, we made a decision as to whether we were gonna have an advocate via the Northern Highlands or the county be our voice. Are we past that point now with having an advocate
Since
to
they
help?
changed the plan and they're making it mandatory, right now, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, our planner and our attorney are advocate. Our planner is working, just so you guys know, we received a phone call the other day, and Mike and I had to go on to, with our planner, and bring up the maps of Bloomingdale of all the land that we own as a borough, and come up with an explanation on why it can or cannot be built. Some of you don't know, but we have several pieces of property in town, Postal Court being one of them, which is up on Knowles and Rapkin Road behind some houses back there, which at one time was going to be developed for 5 houses back there.
Yeah, across the street.
All right, it's not that big.
Like another one across the street from the bottom of Jeffrey. Yeah,
That's,
2 of them, right?
yeah, I don't think that's even in that, because that's in the wetlands. I don't know if we
Okay.
even looked at that, because that's one that can't be built.
Can't be built, yeah.
And the other one, if you remember correctly, is Glade Road, which is off of Glenlisle, that we tried to sell to a builder, and then it came back, it was unbuildable. So that is our excuse for that, and that's why we can't put more affordable housing there. Okay, so, but we went through several, it's amazing how much property we own, but little pieces. All right, and then some of them are locked in, you can't get to, and all this stuff. So this is the process that we're going through with the state that has to be submitted by our planner,
Okay.
okay?
I had a comment,
Go
if I
ahead.
may. While it may seem confusing that I will be voting yes for this resolution, I do so for one reason and one reason only, and that is to keep the borough compliant with the state. By no means does this mean that I'm in agreement with the state pushing Bloomingdale into an unreasonable number of affordable housing units, incredibly unreasonable quotas, deadlines, and mandates. What the state does not take into consideration with our town, like many towns, is the impacts on the environment, schools, and infrastructure. It doesn't take into consideration that much of the property that the state reviewed is borough property. Are we expected to build low-income housing? Because as I've said before, if the borough can't find developers, then the expectation is for us, the borough, to cover our co-obligations and build them, and we simply can't afford that. And when one compares the ridiculous number of 434 to some of the other towns in Passaic County, only Wayne and Totowa were higher, how is that possible? So I will vote yes to keep the borough compliant with the state, but I do not agree with the numbers that the state has come up with for us.
I think that's fair. And I think also we don't agree, and I think that our planner did a good job, and you guys as well, looking at the acreage, going from 75 available acres down to about 35, 34, something like that. Going from that 400-something number down to 260-something.
Yep.
So I think that that was positive work that's been done in a very short and unreasonable time frame.
But I also think once this is all done and we get all our information and the correct information and all that stuff, I don't even think that number is obtainable,
I would agree.
okay? We just met our approval, I'll say, for the 3rd round. That's why, you know, with the mirror track, how important it is that we get that done, so we're done. All right, and then you'll have your little pockets, because if a developer comes in and, builds something on Main Street, like next to the post office, they still have to abide by the affordable housing rules and set aside X amount within their complex. Small amounts, I mean, it's, you're talking 3 apartments, I think, down there that'll be affordable. All right, and if there's any other development on Main Street, they all have to comply. All right, but we want to stay ahead of it, so we don't get told that you must. But if we keep working with it and get to where we need to be as a borough, we can control it as a borough. We don't want the state to control our destiny.
And just to be clear, we're voting to fight the number that was assigned to us.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
to agree to it.
No, we're not agreeing
Just
to
to make
it.
sure
The-
we're all
the
understanding.
resolution
We're voting to
puts-
fight it.
The
and that's what our
resolution,
time is.
the
Yes.
resolution puts forth that we do not agree with the 400 and whatever number, and that the planner has done her analysis, and the number we are proposing is 269. That number is still subject to various reductions along the way during the analysis, and that will be part of the plan that is required to be filed or adopted rather by June 30th.
So
But
we
this
say,
is this,
Also to-
as John said, this resolution is mandatory. We have to adopt this resolution, otherwise we lose our immunity from builder's remedy lawsuits, and that's huge. We do not want that, so,
And I think that 269 too, as John Graziano, Councilman Graziano has mentioned here, right? I think that's based upon the state's guidelines for how to put it together. So it's using their formulations.
Well, you have to.
Based upon what we had for the 70.
you have to, that's what the
We're gonna
statute
continue to,
says.
yeah, but I'm just, as a council and for the public, I think, we're gonna continue to challenge what those guidelines were. This is adjust the guidelines based upon the available land, and then fight the guidelines, step 2. And that's why I was asking as to like when the county or when our advocates get involved. I'm happy to hear it's you guys and happy to hear that we're continuing to do it, but the more advocates we can have, the better. So I think very well said, Dawn.
Okay. Okay. All right, roll call, please.
Ronco,
So, do we, okay, I'm sorry.
no, I don't have a motion in a second.
I didn't think so.
I thought we did, because we went into
I'll make
questions.
a motion.
No, we
I'll
we
second
didn't.
it.
We did.
Okay, it's Dawn,
So it's Dawn.
Dawn and
Ray. And if there's nothing else, roll call, please.
Ronco,
Yes.
Catalano,
Begrudgingly, yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Schubert,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Okay. Item E, introduction of ordinance number 1, 2025, amending Chapter 5, Animal Control. Do you have a motion to read by title?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
an ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale and the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 5, Animal Control, Section 5-9, defiling or damaging property, nuisances running at large of the Code of the Borough of Bloomingdale. Mayor, second and final reading for this ordinance will be scheduled for February 4th.
Okay. Item F, introduction of ordinance number 2, 2025, amending Chapter 92, the BCD. Do I have a motion to read by title?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
An ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale, County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 92 zoning of the Code of the Borough of Bloomingdale. Because this is a zoning ordinance, it'll be referred to the planning board, and the mayor and council will have second and final reading and adoption on March 4th.
Okay. Okay, item G, introduction of ordinance number 3, 2025, acquisition of portion of 5073/71. Do you have a motion to read by title?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale, County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, authorizing the acquisition of a portion of Block 5073, Lot 71, from M&T at Union Ave, Bloomingdale LLC. Second and final reading for this ordinance will be February 4th.
Okay. Item H, introduction of ordinance number 4, 2025, authorizing sale of a portion of the property known as Holster Court. Do I have a motion to read by title?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale, County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, authorizing the sale of a portion of the property known as Holster Court in Bloomingdale, New Jersey. Second and final reading for this ordinance will also be on February 4th.
Okay. Motion to open up lead public comment.
I just have, I'm sorry, I just, I was talking to, Tom Riley on Saturday at the museum, and he's, excited about the Revolution NJ, and he is gonna host a talk about his, Federal Hill. It's something that he's already done, and he's gonna continue to do it. But I'd like the website, the Revolution NJ, to put it on their website. The mere fact that we have this museum, hopefully they could post it, and their office hours. And then Ally at the library, between Ally and the senior center, he's gonna host a revolutionary talk, and he's gonna dress up like a period. And he mentioned that, eventually the garage where the fire truck is in there might be part of his, and...
Well, we're trying to do for that, and we're getting a little off topic here, is I'm trying to find somebody to donate a glass door, garage door there. I spoke to Mike, you're Mike Dawn, regarding our old truck. To put, once we get it set and redo the floor and all that stuff, we would park the old antique fire truck in there. This way people can actually come see it versus being in the firehouse garage just sitting there. So the fire department, because Mike heads that committee up for that truck, and they can take it out and use it like they still do and take it down there and work on it, but it'd be really nice for the public to be able to see that. So I'm working with Tom to figure out who I'm going to send a nice letter to hopefully donate a glass door. So when you walk by, you can actually see it. You know, it's in there, and that will become, in my vision, and speaking of Tom, that would become the fire department side and the police department side in our museum, and that would open up space in the other section for whatever Tom wants to do.
That's a fabulous idea.
So, with that...
You're really getting off topic here,
I
we're
was
way
gonna-
past your time.
well, it's public, but I did want to speak to Mike, because this, and he had also mentioned that if there is any grant opportunities, because there was a section in this talking about that, and they were doing tavern talks, even though I know the museum isn't a tavern, but it could kind of be that. But there's no room in the museum, but if that garage is opened up, and if you put
Yeah, it's gonna take some time. It took us a long time to get where we are, so it's a work in progress.
Okay.
All right?
I second public comment. We had a motion on the floor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Public, late public.
Woohoo!
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, anyone wishing to come up and speak? Sure, come on up. Your name and address.
Sure, Melinda Simpson, 91 Sterling Grove.
Mhm.
So I just had a couple questions. I attended the meeting up at Walter T. Bergen. I guess it was last week or the week before. And, I listened to the presentation and then I had some questions. The superintendent then directed me to come down here, listen, ask some questions of my own down here. So one of the questions that I had before going and voting on this referendum in March is, so I understand that there is to be the sale of that property for SRD. My concern is a few things. How do we control, is there control? I know you were saying before that it's sort of out of your control. However, the sale of that property, if it goes to, let's say, someone with a tax exempt status, then what can we do as a community? What can you guys do from your standpoint to make sure that whoever buys that property, whatever goes there,
Pays taxes?
is going to be revenue driven for us?
Dawn, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Once piece of property of any type goes up for public auction, it's a bid process. So when they come in and bid on it, I would think the highest bidder will get it. Now, if a nonprofit goes in there, which I don't believe we can control, am I correct in saying that? That's the chance that the school is taking by selling it. Will that happen? I don't know. Will a developer come in? I don't know. That is the unforeseen. We can't control that and say it has to go to, and I'm making things up, a rehab center for rehabilitation for some, for doctor's offices or anything. We can't control that.
Are we allowed to change the zoning?
We can change the zoning.
Change the
That is not a
zoning.
problem, changing the zoning, because right now, like I said before, it is zoned public. Below it, on the lower half of that is part of the B,
BCD and the.
BCD.
which is the business
It's
district,
in a-
all right? It can be switched to that.
Right.
But that would go through our zoning board on how we wanted to rezone that property. But right now, we're not even close to that because it's still a school and we don't have control of that. But the sale of the school is solely up to the Board of Ed. Once they sell it to whoever, and if it goes on the tax rolls, that's when it becomes, we get involved on the tax side of it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, my concern for so many things is that, they did talk about the small portion that our taxes will go up. They did speak about, the chance that there could be any number of businesses. I know there was a gentleman who spoke, I guess he lives by the school, so his concern was, well, I bought property by a school. That's what I wanted, that's what
I
I
know who
had
that
that
is, yeah.
vision of,
Yeah.
yeah. So, he was very upset about the possibility of it being something other than a school, which I understand. My concern is another failed business in town. If something goes up there, it's off the beaten path, so what if it doesn't do well? My concern is another smoke shop going in. I feel like we have enough of a particular type of business in town. And we've just seen the closure of so many businesses over the last couple of years, and, I'm apprehensive about voting a particular way just based on the what if or the possibility of something going in that area that isn't going to be profitable for Bloomingdale.
I probably might be speaking out of turn here, but I think, it's just my opinion. I think if a property lot can come for sale, and I think they told you it's about $5 million,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That the sale, and I personally think that's on the low side, all right? Because commercial property is tough to come by. That's right off the Hamburg Turnpike.
Right.
That could be beneficial to somebody. What I would like to see there, to me, is a doctor's rehab center, because those places, doctor's offices are always busy. But like I said, we don't have any control over that. If a developer comes in and they bid, I'm making numbers up, $6 million, and they're the top bidder, and they're gonna go in there and they want to put senior housing there, which I think, if that's the case, if any type of housing would be good, because it's quiet. Okay, that
Yeah.
end of it. But we don't know where that's gonna be because we don't have any control over that.
Okay.
But once it gets to that point and it goes on the tax rolls, that's when we get revenue from that, which helps out everybody,
Right, exactly.
including the school, including,
And whatever is purchased would have to go through the land use board for approvals and such.
yes. And then at the
They
point,
rezone first to whatever this governing body wants to see up there.
Right.
In zone wise, and then it would go out to auction. And then the person buying it would know, okay, it's zoned for this, and this is what I'm gonna put there.
Okay,
And it'd be criteria, this is what's allowed in that area.
okay.
Just like they do any
That
other
makes
zone
sense, yeah,
in town.
makes
This is
sense.
what's allowed in permitted use, not permitted use,
Okay.
accessory use. We'd have to do that prior to the sale.
Good, thank you for that clarification, I appreciate that.
anything else?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't normally do.
You don't live here.
I don't normally, but I talk on Facebook so seldom about things I don't want to be, I actually posted something, and I don't want to come across as some loon from out of town who doesn't know what he's talking about, which is, there was this discussion here about,
Could
the
you say your
agenda.
name and your address?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Richard Delariva, 96 Riverview Road, Pompton Lakes, New Jersey.
Thank you.
You should have reminded me, I would have stopped at that point. But anyways, there was a discussion on Facebook, and the agenda at that point in time had something on it called Supporting Amendment of the Fair Housing Act, which implied to me, based on my previous experience, that there was something going on about obviously is kind of referred to or referenced before, some sort of effort to get the state to change, fair housing quotas and stuff like that. But that apparently, the agenda changed, so, or did that just morph into a different
The
name?
consent
there
agenda
was
had a
it was on the-
resolution saying that we didn't agree with what the state was doing, and then
Okay.
there was another resolution outside of the
No,
consent.
no. I'm sorry.
No, and the
On the consent
just to
agenda, there
support
was a-
amending the Fair Share
Yes.
Housing Act.
There is a movement by
A group.
a group of local government attorneys who have proposed an amendment to the Fair Housing Act in an effort to make the calculations and the formulas used more fair across the board. And that's what the resolution was that was on the agenda.
Okay.
Supporting that effort to make amendments to what is currently on the books as the act.
Their formula.
The second resolution.
The second one, I know what that one was.
Was,
Okay.
they're two separate
So
things.
it got moved into the consent agenda, but I guess I didn't realize it was coming from.
Yeah, but that's just
board.
supporting, we don't like what they're doing.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
But I wanted to state that for other people who are interested. And do you have any idea how many other municipalities might be backing this?
I do not know
Okay.
that offhand. I'm sorry. I can,
Well, no, I understand, but I'm just saying I can't imagine most places are particularly happy with it.
most places I imagine are not. And there is actually a litigation going on right now by many municipalities that are challenging the laws. They haven't been very successful to date. They've been shot down just about everywhere. But they are actively, it's being spearheaded by the mayor of Montvale.
Mhm. I got an
And,
email regarding that.
yeah, and, they're trying real hard. So far, they've not been successful in any of their efforts to, get stays and, try to slow down the process. But, so yeah, there's a large majority, if not all, of the except the ones that are exempt, that don't have to have a number or have an obligation. So, I just don't know how many are
That's
actually
I mean-
signing on and adopting such resolutions.
Okay. Well, thank you for the background.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Rich.
I'm sorry, John.
Let's not bad looking.
Oh, I thought you said that it was,
Seeing no one else, or a motion to close with public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, we do not have a late executive, we did it early. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next meeting is February 4th.